opportunities. Let's look at the whole situation with the fraternities and the sororities. Let's look at the whole issue with the hiring. Where are the Negro professors? Where are the Negro coaches? They're taking our football from us, but if we wanted a job here, we couldn't work it.
Well, it was disbelief. Who are these guys? There's no problem. You guys are creating the problem. Everything is fine.
Well, the only thing I recall was the list of demands that Harry made, and I remember looking at those and going, ooh, they aren't going to be able to meet those. That's not going to work. But I had also been very involved in some of those demands because I had gone and rented apartments for some of these guys and then turned the key over to them.
Harry and Ken organized a student demonstration. It changed nothing. By contrast, their threat to boycott the college's lucrative season-opening football match against Brigham Young University reaped rewards. Success inspired them to act on Tommy's proposal support for the idea of the Los Angeles Black Youth Conference. His victory would put him on a collision course with international Olympic supremo Avery Brundage, who was adamant that sport should be a politics-free zone, and he wasn't alone.
We were in a situation where not all of the athletes were either accessible or likely to participate in anything close to a boycott.
Two such athletes were long jumpers Bob Beamon and Olympic gold medalist Ralph Boston.
As a guy who was nearing the end of his Olympic career, my first reaction was, I don't want to do this. I want to go. I need to go ahead and do this. This is going to be my ticket to earning a good living for my family and so on. So I wasn't very interested at the time.
We've been doing this here half of our lives, and then suddenly we want to give it up now for whatever he was trying to say.
Harry's proposed Black Olympic boycott was anathema to Avery Brundage, the all-powerful head of the International Olympic Committee.
In Olympic circles, the word boycott is not used. That's a political word. But if they withdraw for political reasons, it's a sign that they do not understand the Olympic philosophy of no discrimination, race, religion, or political affiliations.
The Olympic Project for Human Rights, or OPHR, became the vehicle for the proposed Black Olympic boycott. City.
Dr. King was about 5'9" tall with his hat on, and about 165 pounds. So I'm standing at 6'8", about 270 pounds at that point, and he said, well, I see why these folks so scared of you. You huge. So we laughed about it, but he understood that this was merely an overlay onto athletics of the pattern and paradigm that he had established.
Uniquely, OPHR also won huge support from the militant human rights wing of the Black liberation struggle. Harry courted activists including Stokely Carmichael.
We want black power! We want black power!
And H. Rap Brown.
The rebellions that we see are merely dress rehearsals for the revolution that's to come.
OPHR backed up its call for a Black Olympic boycott with a list of incendiary demands. Their primary objective called for the dismissal of their arch-enemy, Avery Brundage,
who we found owned a country club in Santa Barbara, which had no Negroes and no Jews need apply in its charter. And this guy's the head of the International Olympic Committee.
Avery Brundage had form. He'd been instrumental in winning the 1936 Berlin Olympics for Adolf Hitler. 2 years later, Hitler reciprocated by contracting Brundage's construction firm to build the German embassy in America.
We're talking about somebody who was kicked out of the America First Committee in 1940, which was this horrible Nazi solidarity group in the United States trying to keep the U.S. out of World War II. He was expelled from them for being too pro-Hitler. It was embarrassing to them. So he was asked to leave. This is who Avery Brundage was. And he made sure that the International Olympic Committee, contained more fascists than the Nuremberg trials.
Another Another OPHR demand concerned the movement's warrior saint, Muhammad Ali. He had been stripped of his world title and banned from boxing for refusing to fight in Vietnam. OPHR insisted the decision be reversed.
Mr. Quaid, Ali, sir. Mr. Quaid, Muhammad Ali, sir. Mr. Muhammad Ali, the one.
Ali is important because he's probably one of the first athletes who begins to publicly articulate this relationship between sport, race and politics, and crucially begins to do so in a global context.
A third OPHR demand concerned disinviting the all-white teams of Southern Rhodesia and Apartheid Africa to the 1968 Olympics. Like the group's call for his sacking, it was bound to invoke the of Avery Brundage.
Well, in the first place, we have not invited South Africa. We don't deal with nations. Invited a multiracial team, a mixed team from South Africa, a multiracial committee according to...
We're talking about restoring Muhammad Ali's title or reign of Avery Brundage, where he ran the International Olympic Committee, really like a racist fiefdom. You're talking about 3 points in which the people of the Olympic Project for Human Rights were proven correct by history.
It became very clear that there was a direct network of connections between what we were experiencing here at San Jose State and what was being experienced on the national level in the Olympic movement by African Americans, and what was happening in places like South Africa and Southern Rhodesia, all the same people. It was the same power structure.
OPHR's demands were so outrageous that news headlines were guaranteed. However, Harry was forced to reinvent himself to keep them in the media spotlight.